I don't want people to start pumping this narrative.
Okay.
That she is a culture vulture or culturally appropriating something as a fucking 17-year-old.
All right, pause real quick on that. So I want to say how I got caught up with her. I'm not caught up into the music. I've heard recently probably 4 songs, and it seems probably like what I would expect. Now, of that expectation, I would have to say those songs are pretty dope, right? How I first caught wind of her, I want to say it was either a Genius feature on their YouTube channel.
Who the fuck is it? You talking about Jizza?
No, Genius, the rap Genius.
He said Jizza.
I know what he said.
Holy shit.
So I saw that and I was like, okay, who's this chick? I didn't click on it, right? Because I want to see rappers on Rap Genius, right? I mean on Genius. Not because I got to beef with anybody else. I just want to. That's my go-to.
You were looking for the verses and the words.
And I'm looking for verses to artists that I don't know yet, so that way it helps me get me into it. That's when I'm music hunting. That's how I get into it. Give me something. Don't give me a rap verse. Give me something else. Right.
Carry on.
So then she shows up on Hot Ones. I'm like,
I saw that.
I watch Hot Ones, and I did not click on it because at this point I had seen interviews coming down, and everybody's touting this chick. And I'm just like...
So she was on a press run?
I don't know if it was intentional, but her press...
Or the algorithm just got you?
It just keeps getting me. And I've not looked for this chick. So now I feel like I'm being targeted for it. And I'm like, I'm going to keep ignoring it.
Billie Eilish,
right.
Billie Eilish.
So now
Billie
I'm
Eilish.
seeing some people, like, a couple memes or a couple Instagram posts and Twitter posts like, yo, this emo chick this, emo chick that. So I'm like, okay, so that's the thing. Here's this new emo chick that everybody's
she's really
trying to
not
push.
emo. But
Just hold on, let me get there. So I'm like, now I'm definitely not listening to this because
right.
I don't want that in my life right now, right?
Right.
So, I think I'm on 28th, 27th between 6th and 5th or 7th and 6th, right? Or wherever Barcade is at in that area. So I'm in there. One song comes on. I didn't hear the beginning. I heard the middle. I'm like, damn, it's kind of tough. Then I got back into my conversation. Another song comes on. I'm just bopping my head. I'm like, yo, this is kind of tough. Another song comes on. Yo, this is fire too. I pulled out the app to try to see who it was. I don't get it. I don't get enough. No, I didn't get enough. It was going off.
Okay.
DJ,
plus the noise around you and whatnot.
Right. So I'm like, man, what's going on? So now I'm waiting on Hot Ones content. I forget who it was, but there was 2 episodes that was out. I wasn't really feeling it. I'm like, man, it's not the episode. It's not the show. It's the person that they had on. I might have had some inflated expectations that their stuff would be good.
By the way, I trust Hot Ones so much that I click on it, even if it's not someone I know.
Yeah, no, same here.
Okay. That's how I first saw Billie Eilish.
Same here.
Double back to this conversation about Hot Ones. I don't know what the fuck Hot Ones is.
We will get into that later.
We'll clue you in.
Sure.
Yeah, and you have a lot of content to binge. So
it's
trust me,
binge-worthy.
it's good.
We'll talk.
Good.
So now I got nothing to watch. I have everything to watch, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
I got nothing to watch. I'm disappointed with these last 2 Hot Ones episodes. So I refresh my page. Billie Eilish shows up again. I said, you know what? Let's watch it.
No, that's the algorithm, my nigga.
Dope. What she was saying, what I was feeling from her, I was like,
I enjoyed the episode.
I enjoyed the episode. I'm like, she's cool.
No smoke.
I'm still not going to the music.
Yeah.
I went and watched one of her interviews somewhere else. I think it was like Conan or somebody. She's on one of these shows. I like the energy. I like the vibe. Then I think was she on SNL? No.
I think she may have been on SNL.
I don't see why. I think she was
on something.
I saw something with her the other day.
And I saw the performance.
Yeah.
I saw a performance. And I'm like, okay.
I think she did a skit, maybe?
And I'm like, okay. All right, cool. Then autoplay happened. Autoplay played a song. I'm like, oh, this is a song that I pulled out the app for.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is her music. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I let it go. She won a couple Grammys. I was like, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's go to YouTube real quick.
Yep.
Play 3 more songs because I played the one song again. So it's really 4, but I played 3 new ones that I didn't hear from her. And I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. I don't see the 6 Grammys yet, but I'm talking from a small sample.
Right.
But cool. All right. So I'm on board. I'm not all the way there, but I'm on board.
Okay. Now, I first ran across her.
Mm-hmm.
Tawann played a song at the crib. Played a few songs. It was dope. All right, cool. We're in there. I didn't really notice the name of the. I don't know. It was a dope song.
Right.
It was good. Then the Hot Ones episode.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. It's cool. Then I went and listened to 1 or 2 of the songs. I was like, oh, she's all right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's not my thing.
Right,
I wouldn't say it is my thing. Like, I rock with it, you know?
Yeah.
And just now, where Tawann was like, you know, you rock with Billie Eilish. I was like, who? She's not that.
Yeah.
She's not in my brain
right.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so my offhanded comment about her being a culture vulture was about when I saw her on the episode of Hot Ones, she was dripping.
Right.
Right? She's that streetwear drip shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I saw just now in the video,
more drip,
is more drip.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that
fam,
video is dope though.
Video's dope. Like, fam, I see Justin Bieber. And again, this is not. I'm not digging into the girl, so it's just a little white girl in our culture. And Tawann has a valid point. What the fuck else is a 17-year-old supposed to do? You're absolutely right.
And today's climate, yeah. What else?
Me, 10 years ago, would not have given a fuck about this. But as I embark on my journey to learn about Black America and the plight of the black man and how this shit just keeps on going, I'm forced to think about these things. Like, I get it. Our culture is fucking cool. And everybody else gets it because they want to be a part of our culture. And I get it. Like, yo, this was the point. To get to what we do as black people becomes the norm. And not only we not fucking penalized for it, but it's accepted. Like, we're there.
And they give us our props openly.
Right. But the problem is, I'm seeing this little white girl, as dope as she is, being dope. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fam, say something. Because we're still fighting to be accepted today.
Right.
So you ain't going to just put on some drip and run away. Nah, put on some drip, acknowledge why it's called drip, and then sing your fucking song. And I don't know, maybe she's done it, maybe she don't.
Right.
There's people out there who are like, you're looking too much into it. She's just a fucking teenager. She's going to spend her money. This is what's cool now. Yeah, but so is fucking Justin Bieber. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
The same Justin Bieber that's making racist ass jokes, by the way.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So
well,
I'm not too, and this
stuff in
is
general.
completely outside of her music, which is dope. But this is just what I saw from face value.
Right.
Maybe if I get to learn her more, where she's from, I don't know that was where my offhanded comment about culture vultures came from.
Right, and so for me with her, again, another thing, because I did come across a little clip where it made me standoffish with her. But in terms of her, it didn't register to me because the way that it is happening today. I mean, look what we did today. The sneaker run, right? Who do you think made sneakers popping like this?
That's my point.
Right? Like we know this. Hip hop runs the world. We've been saying this for quite a while. When rock ruled the world, who started rock? There's people out there at the end of rock, when I don't mean the end, but like the last time rock was popping, they don't know that black people started
rock and roll.
They don't know that, right? Right now, this is a hip hop world. This is a hip hop world, and we know why and how it is what it is.
Machine Gun Kelly's coming for it.
The stuff that is out there and popping, right? Eminem didn't rock like that. So you can't say, well, Eminem got on and everybody's following him. No.
Whoa.
Hold on.
I can
Hold on.
I can argue that, but carry on.
Hold on.
Carry on.
I don't care about exposure. Eminem didn't really dress like how we dress. You get what I'm saying? Poor. He was just saying he didn't dress how he dressed. Even when he got on, he didn't dress how he dressed.
Still doesn't.
So exactly. So he might have exposed him to another side, but we know we are the source. That's our whole thing. I don't see that from her per se, but I also don't see it for those kids because that's just life.
Okay.
That's just life now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like your SEO dude, your CEO dude, coming through with sneakers 30 times better than mine.
That's what made it okay for me to wear Jordans to work, because the VP of retail used to wear fucking Jordans.
All right. So I hear both.
Hold on, one more thing. Sorry, I hate to do this. Where she gonna rock out, I'll let her rock out. She was not on my radar for this. She won't be on my radar about this until she does what Justin has done, Justin Bieber, maybe even Justin Timberlake, right? With Miley Cyrus has done, and one other person, Post Malone. If she does what any of those people I just named has done, then she's off the list.
Okay, so I need to know what they did that she...
One way or another, they spoke bad about hip-hop and all its origins and all that stuff.
All right, okay. So...
And the people that go with it.
Gotcha.
And one way or another.
Got you. So I'm a put my 2 cents in. You guys have already pretty much described her. She's an 18 going on 19 now, because she was, when I first got hip to who she was 17. She's a teenager in a hip hop world. Okay?
Yep.
Teenager.
Yep.
That just so happens to know how to sing and sing very well.
Mm-hmm. But for the record, she's a pop star. She's a pop artist, right?
Whoa. No, because that's not something that she considers herself.
Of course not, because she's goth.
Well,
goth never wants to be considered pop.
No, she looks up. She dresses very dark, but technically she's not goth.
Okay. So what genre is she? What would she say?
What they're categorizing her as alternative.
Not they, she. What would she?
She doesn't categorize herself.
She's just making music.
She's making music.
That kind of stuff.
All right. So
alternative what? Rock?
No.
No. She's with alternative
music.
Okay.
Alternative music.
Okay.
That odd eerie music.
Sure.
So, now, why I felt like I needed to dispel many people's and it was something that I said. I saw on Instagram and it wasn't just one. It was a friend of ours, and he has his opinion. He's very opinionated. Nonetheless, it was something he said that was very relative to Billie Eilish and cultural appropriation, and I get it. Listen, I get it when it's Eminem putting on a pair of fucking Air Jordans and now him getting a fucking deal with a pair of fucking Air Jordans that says Eminem on it. Mm-hmm. Fuck out of here.
I don't see it there either.
Appropriation is about acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
I think Eminem has acknowledged the culture.
He's never not.
Listen, I get Eminem putting on acknowledging the culture, but what makes him any different from now? Why is it that Eminem early in his career gets a Jordan sneaker? How long did it take for somebody like Drake? Now, why did it take when black people are 90% of the buyers of your fucking sneaker?
Yep.
But
that's not a knock to Eminem.
It's not a knock to
that's
Eminem
way,
per se. But my question is, so Eminem gets a pass for adopting this culture because he's from fucking Detroit, 8 Mile Detroit?
No, he doesn't get a pass. He paid his dues.
Paid his dues. When he started, he looked just like every other fucking white person
but that's okay. But he
could
spit.
Yes,
and that was the point of the game.
And she can sing. So that is my point to her.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
However, Eminem has surrounded himself in the culture. Eminem has given to the culture.
Listen,
He's given opportunities to others in the culture.
Right, but that is a lot to put on somebody that has only been in existence.
That's what I said. Your point is valid.
Yeah.
She's a 17-year-old. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, absolutely, she's a 17-year-old. But let's not let her just walk out the door.
Well,
let us. Somebody somewhere needs to let her know what you think is cool today. People are still being punished for that.
Right, but
and you need to, one, I'm not asking her to make a Twitter post saying, just acknowledge, because you know what she's in danger of becoming. What's the name of the actor who plays Rey?
Rey
in Star Wars.
That's this girl. No, that's Boyer is the other one.
Did you see that fuck shit that she said about privilege?
I did. I missed it.
You need to go look at that.
Okay.
Because the gist of the conversation was, because they were doing a press tour together. The guy that plays Finn.
Boyer.
Yeah. And then the girl that plays Rey.
Daisy Ridley.
They were doing a press tour together, and the interviewer asked some dumbass question.
Right.
And pretty much she refused to acknowledge her privilege as a white person. And she was saying, that the way she arrived at where she is in her career, you could all agree this is a pinnacle. This is Star Wars. This is Disney. Is through hard work, and this is that's not this dude's story. He came from poverty. He's had to fight through racism. He's had to break into an industry. She literally had absolutely none of that. She just showed up as white with a dream, and she refused to acknowledge her privilege. You get what I'm saying?
Right, but I feel like this is the same Kanye West argument that we talked about in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can always talk about what white people are privileged to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but right now, and let's talk about John Boyega and Daisy Ridley. Both of them had no fucking a resume.
Right.
Both of them started at the same time, basically, with Star Wars, and both of them equally worked hard, and both of
not
them
equally. Nope. There you go. Not equally. Fam, there's nothing equal about a black person in this country with the same exact credentials as the white person in this country.
But that's not what I'm saying. That's
you
not
just
what
said
I'm
equally.
Saying. No, they both
You said they work hard equally.
No, I said they both worked hard equally in their respective fields. Which is acting. And they are both now, I don't look at Daisy Ridley any different than I look at John Boyega. So you think
they both had to put in the same effort?
In acting, yes.
My bad.
Because she has not been casted in any other fucking role in Hollywood.
Let me rephrase that. Do you think they had the same resistance?
I can't say that.
No, you can't, because they didn't.
It's possible that, she probably, but I can't.
Fam, he's a black man.
Yes, he is a black man that has had more Hollywood roles than Daisy fucking Ridley.
Exactly.
So my point is, where is the argument if somebody decides to say it? And this is, and
hang on. Do you think someone's gonna shoot Billy Ray Cyrus for wearing a fucking hoodie to buy Snickers?
Absolutely not. But
exactly.
That is
the point right there.
But that is another argument.
That is not another argument.
Listen, we're going to keep this
That's
where
the same argument.
No. We're keeping this where it is. We're talking about two pieces, since you brought up Daisy Ridley and you brought up John Boyega. Both of them are the same, artistically the same.
No.
Artistically.
No,
they are not culturally.
One's a male, one's a female. It still can't be the same.
They are not culturally the same. They are both artistically the same, because one is black and male and one is white and female. They have both come up in the same genre, not even the same genre, in the same field of work. They are both actors, and both of them put the same amount of, I will say this. I feel like John Boyega worked way more harder, because there's only one other fucking movie that she starred in other than Star Wars since Star Wars. John Boyega has three or four, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So if you work hard, what have you said yourself? You work hard, you get results. You don't work hard, you don't get results.
But that doesn't mean your struggle wasn't harder.
Right. Now we're going to go into culture and the struggle. Okay? Let's be clear. I don't give a fuck what Billie Eilish is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what the next man is out there wearing, because I have personally taken a stance to not wear not a one of those Gucci, Louis, Polo fuckboys on my body.
Why?
Because I at this point in time, I am spending too much money for somebody that is not investing in me.
Sure. Is
All right?
Billie Eilish invested in you?
She ain't putting out clothes.
She's putting out music.
So
they don't listen to her music.
No, but because I am a person that listens to music,
Mm-hmm.
until I decide that she is not doing anything for me to listen to her, no more than Kanye West is doing anything for me to listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that Jay-Z conversation that we also gonna have on here, and that Puff Daddy, that Diddy conversation about black excellence, are we gonna have that conversation up here?
Mm-hmm.
Because fuck black excellence, and I'm saying it. Because black excellence is smoke and fucking mirrors.
Are you aware of the project that I'm doing for my photography?
No, I'm not.
That's what it's called, Black Excellence.
But I am sure.
I know. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
And because I know you,
Right.
I am sure.
I largely share that opinion with you.
The understanding of black excellence that you expel on and you expand on, and the idea of black excellence that this motherfucker is doing every time he spews it. And listen, I'm gonna keep it funky with you. When a motherfucker can get on a fucking on anybody's platform, and this ain't not to deviate from Billie Eilish. When this nigga, let me not say that. When this king, when this king can get on somebody's platform and start talking, and listen, don't get it twisted. I love Puff Daddy,
Mm-hmm.
but when you talking about black excellence and lifting up black people, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're talking business, and the fact that almost each and every black person that you had signed to your company from the start of Bad Boy has a problem with their business, and the business that was taken or the lack thereof from them, and ended up in your back pocket and in your wallet and in your account, Nick King, stop talking to me about black excellence.
Got it.
Get your past correct. And then we can talk about black excellence. Okay. So that's my spiel for black excellence right now.
Okay.
As far as Billie Eilish is concerned. All right. This is a young singer that puts out good music.
Right.
And if she so chooses, like, I can't be mad at the white boy that chooses to wear Supreme.
Sure.
And Palace and fucking underrated. Is underrated?
Pyramids.
Well, not even pyramids, but all of that
streetwear
and that off-white, all that off-white drip, what we call it. In which she doesn't. I haven't once heard her use that term.
Me neither.
But you're out there wearing this stuff as a young white kid, because they're and listen, we went to Adidas today, and I saw a couple of white kids out there on that, and they had it on too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so I'm not going to single her out because she's making music.
That's just the way. That's just where we at today.
Yeah, and it's
to me,
it's black people today are still looking for reparation. You're supposed to take your reparation. If you don't want to take reparation, then have a fucking seat.
It gets very, very murky, these conversations. So let me see if I could do this disposition here. So Eminem, I don't feel like he's a cultural vulture.
Absolutely, and I don't think so either.
Right. I think we all agree here, because he has provided for the culture. Right?
Right.
He lives the culture.
Right.
Justin Bieber, I think he is a culture vulture.
I think he's a scumbag.
Because not only did he embed himself in the culture, which is okay, right? There's no colors to this culture,
right?
But he's behind closed doors making racist jokes.
No, he's overtly. Let me just stop you there. He's overtly on film saying the N word.
Yeah. So
singing it.
So to me, he's using the culture to get ahead.
Absolutely.
That's a culture vulture.
Absolutely.
Right? DJ Khaled. You would want to call him a culture vulture, but the energy he gives seems, and everyone else says, this is positive energy. He's just happy to be in the culture.
Right.
He could have ended up in pop and still be DJ Khaled.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But he ended up in hip hop.
Yep.
I don't see him as a culture vulture.
Gotcha.
I don't see Billie Eilish as a culture vulture. What I'm saying is, how are we sending her out in the world? Because streetwear today did not come from a place of privilege. Streetwear came today from the hip hop culture and the drug dealers. And
poverty.
Okay. And poverty.
Black
and
poverty.
You didn't
black poverty. Yeah.
You didn't all year round, you didn't have money to eat, but that one little bit of something that your parents had, they got you some nice sneakers.
Right.
That was how we got by.
Okay.
My kid ain't never had nothing nice, but once a year I can get him some J's.
Right. That's
streetwear, right? And you wear those J's, and you wear that one low hoodie. You wear that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now that has become popular, because let's not put the Japanese under the radar here. They literally lifted that culture from hip hop, and no one accuses them of being culture vultures.
Absolutely not.
Different conversation. I don't care to have.
Even with dancing,
because Japanese, by and large, I think
Asian
Japanese and Asian people don't have an identity because they're not happy about who they are. So they're either trying to be
I won't say
super
that.
urban.
Say that. They have an identity.
Son, they either try to be super urban or they want to be white.
Can I stop you there? They have. I feel like just to spin on what you're saying. I feel like they have now developed an identity.
Yeah, because they're a fucking superpower now.
Right, and that identity pulls directly from the hip hop culture.
Now this is
culture.
This is a very ignorant conversation for me to be having. It's a glance over a very complex thing.
Okay,
but I'm just trying to make the point.
Right.
I'm just saying, before we send her out the fucking door, Trayvon Martin was shot because of a hoodie.
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin wasn't shot because, this is drip. I got that new Gucci hoodie on. Like, we can't even... You understand that you're wearing something with pride and privilege that someone else today can't do. She can walk down the street in her neon pink drip hoodie. No one will stop her. If we walk down the street in our black hoodie,
we're going
NYPD is going to pull up on you.
It ain't got to be black.
And
you understand? That's all I'm saying.
I will put a spin on that.
Fam, you can't... Don't take something away that is something of a trophy for us. We like drip because you work hard and you buy something nice for yourself.
Right.
And two, fam, that shit ain't always easy. Because the minute you see somebody with drip, you don't assume that this kid worked at McDonald's flipping burgers for fucking 2 months so he can afford some fucking Supreme box leather t-shirt. You assume he's a drug dealer. But when she steps out the door, it don't matter if I know Billie Eilish or not, no one assumes anything of that of her.
Right.
And that's the culture shit. Like, if you're going to do it, at least tell me that you understand the complexities of it.
I think I think for me, Snow, do you have a...
I don't know if that's... It's hard to say the word fair.
I feel it's not fair for her, but carry on.
When I'm saying her, I'm talking about that entire generation right there, right? Mm-hmm. She's born in 2001.
2001.
Like, hip hop is the world at the year 2001.
Sure.
The last of the rock being on top was that
early 90s.
You could look
early 90s. The last time rock was even a question.
You could look at Super Bowl. You could look at Super Bowl performances and video games, right? Whether commercials or the title music, and tell what was what, right?
Right.
I don't think it's fair to put that on Billie.
Absolutely not.
And I really don't.
I don't disagree.
I feel like she's doing what kids do of any color, race, or creed. Like, what's going on outside my window? And because it's now she doesn't really have to watch the internet. It's literally around her. Like, she's grown up. Like, And in one way, she grew up like she grew up with us.
She
You know what I'm
went
saying? In terms of clothing.
right, and she
In
went
terms
to
of
school
clothing.
and saw the next man wearing a hoodie. She didn't say, "Oh shit, I shouldn't put this on because Trayvon Martin got shot in it."
The hoodie thing.
She's wearing it because everybody in her fucking school is wearing it.
My mother.
She's fresh. She's still in high school.
But
now she's not.
But even before then, like even when we was coming up, son, the world had hoodies.
Okay.
Hoodies is not a new thing. Hoodie didn't start with Trayvon. I was told, yo, when you out there, take your hoodie off.
Yep.
When you step in the dark and you don't need the
well
hoodie on,
before
take
Trayvon
your hoodie
was
off.
was
Like,
shot.
yo, do you really need to go out with that hoodie?
Yep.
Yo, I don't want to buy you this hoodie. Every time my hoodie was being questioned back in the 90s, even the late earlys,
It was a safety thing.
was about safety. And I don't think that we should put that type of thing on her because it's not, it's a hoodie.
But it still exists today.
No, it exists that by far. Where I would get on her was like if she was on TV and saying like, oh, you know, these guys with hoodies came across the street, so I crossed the street. And then we find out it was some color thing with that. And then it ended up being some dudes just
I understand
drip.
that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it ended up being
I understand
some
that
dudes
point.
in drip.
Now,
Like and hold on. Because when we get at her, one, she looks like, oh, this is the ticket to have this argument with. And I've yet to see anything that hasn't proven what us as black people want. Yo, at today, you can't deny us.
sure.
It's all on film.
Sure.
Everything is
It's everywhere.
You can
And this was the point all
you
along.
can fight back with it, but at this point you look ignorant. Like you can come like when we used to tell people in the 90s and the 80s, yo, the police are beating us up.
Yeah.
They're beating us up. We're not doing anything. Yes, there's crime in our neighborhoods. There are people that are doing things in our neighborhoods that are probably deserving of it morally, right? But legally,
Or it's just a subset of poverty.
But legally, you're not supposed to do it, but y'all do it. And you know what we're doing? We're letting it rock. It's when y'all start doing it to the people that's not doing what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we have the problem.
Right.
Shut up. You're not with that. We've seen other people get that treatment better. We've shown footage of it, Rodney King. And they still's like, nah, it didn't happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So today, there's enough evidence to say like, yo, we hit. To the point to where I feel like people should just be like, oh, we already know these black people gonna come in here and say we were the first to do this. We boycotted the Grammys.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people should be annoyed, and that tells me that they know.
Right.
And with that, and I feel like they are. And with that, she is free to mix goth with hip hop,
Which should be a freedom.
which is a freedom. Because guess
Yes.
who else is doing it? Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
He just used brighter colors with the chokers and all that other stuff,
Yeah.
and with the wild colored hair. So for me, with her, and she wore, I think I seen it with some, I don't know if they were dunks or something. I saw those and I was just like, I expect that.
Dunks
like-
are hype beat shit now.
You know,
They're back.
They're back.
right?
They're back.
So
Yeah.
so I
Fucking crazy, these
I
fucking
I
dunks.
expect it.
So I glanced over the culture vulture shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm afraid of, I'm not saying she's malicious in any way.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm afraid of is because she doesn't know. She's a kid. She shouldn't have to know. I agree with your point.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe no one sits her down and gives her the scope of the complexity. She ends up sounding like the girl Daisy from Star Wars.
Well,
You get what I mean?
I get that.
And it's not saying that
I would
she's
say let her get there,
she-
and then we just correct her without shooting her down.
well. That's the problem, because there's so many people. When you get to that point, that stature, and you have that platform, I think it's expected of you to understand most things around you.
Yeah, that's unfair.
Right.
And I know people are gonna throw
It
the money
may
part
be
into
unfair
it.
for her because she's 17, but this girl Daisy,
Yeah,
not acceptable.
She's mid late.
She's an
20s.
adult.
yeah.
Not only she's adult, but she's an adult working with an African American. Fam, I walk through my job no matter where I work in my career, and I know how to look at white women. Do you understand what I just said?
Yeah.
Are you guys processing what I just said?
Yeah.
I look at white women differently in a professional setting than any other woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't look at a white woman with my mute face. You guys know me.
Yeah.
Can you tell when I'm serious or joking or angry or sad?
Right.
I have the same fucking face for everything.
Right.
Okay.
But when I see a white woman, it's a pseudo smile. Hey,
Code switch.
Everything's okay. And I need to do that because I need to prove that I am not a fucking threat.
And you're not a gorilla.
I need to make them feel comfortable.
And you're not a gorilla.
Exactly. So for somebody like Daisy, I would assume that if you're a decent person, you go back and say, oh, I'm working with an African American. How do I not step on toes?
Okay.
How can I understand him a little better?
So,
but not even. You just completely oblivious to everything.
So
you get what I mean?
I want to. I feel like this entire conversation gets pulled into the realm of, and dare I say, racism. All right, because I think racism becomes the root of. It's like racism
or prejudice, whichever one, because there's
they're all tied.
I would use prejudice.
They're all tied into.
Yeah.
They're all tied into a type of racism.
Sure.
So, I'm going to start this off. Well, I'll begin this with a brief story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Tawann. Hi, I'm Tawann. Obviously, this is after I graduated high school, and I was going for a job, Myrtle Avenue, Myrtle between Washington and whatever. So after I exit this job site, I'm walking up Washington to, I want to say maybe the J train, something like that. And no, I was walking to DeKalb because I was going to take my mom still worked for the hospital, Brooklyn Hospital. So I'm walking. I have a book bag on. I look like your typical young man. A person could assume that I was Spanish, like, Puerto Rican, whatever. But clearly
I got that Soul Glow curly drip going.
That Soul Glow drip. The curly hair drip. Nonetheless, Raul
Sanchez.
So, I'm walking, and you guys, I'm sure, are all familiar from then. This is 1994, 95.
Yeah.
And now.
We had to taper off, yeah.
You already know
we had to taper off.
Who lives in that neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
It's just, this is not, what they call it, not Fort Greene. This is what they call. It's not Fort Greene. It's Clinton. They call it Clinton Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Clinton.
Don't call it Fort Greene.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton Hill. So there's a white woman walking down the block towards me. It's like the block is kind of on a hill. It's kind of like got like a big ass church, bunch of fucking shit. Looked like a school, whatever. And this was my first in 18, 19 years. My first experience with, I would consider, racism. The lady, as she walked, she clutched her shoulder bag. It's like, so here I have a shoulder bag on. She took both hands and she clutched her bag as she walked past me.
Doesn't even sound foreign to me. It happened to me too.
So it happened to me wearing a suit.
Now it was baffling to me, and this is in 1994.
Because you're not aware of who you're supposed to be. You just know who you are.
In part, but it was baffling to me is because I had never experienced outward racism towards a black person before, much less me. So now I see it, and I looked in her eye and I saw terror. She was terrified of me. And I had to ask that question. That was the $1 million question that stuck with me the entire day.
Why?
What the fuck did she see that terrorized her that much that a young man coming from a fucking job interview could bring on her at that point in time?
I tell you what she saw. Marketing.
Okay. I can only, and to this day, after having gone over it in my mind for as much as I have to this point, because I still can't figure out why she did what she did.
Marketing.
It's not you, though.
Except for ignorance.
Marketing. Yeah. It's marketing.
Ignorance. Listen.
Son, ignorance.
At the same time, hold on. And please don't lose what you about to say. Son, let's not forget one important thing. New York City because I say New York City died. The New York City that everybody know died in 1996, right? Maybe 97, right?
You talking about the help rape? No one looked out the window.
All that shit, right?
Yeah.
I'd say it died sooner.
There was still some weird shit going on up in. I would say the end of it was at 96, 97. Then we got the blood crip thing, and that's a whole other situation.
Right.
So you got to remember, by 94, 95, right? Mm-hmm. We still had red and blue tops on the ground. So this person that's in that neighborhood, it's still seeing the cleanup. They're the pioneers of the gentrification. You were talking Clinton Hill. We're talking Clinton.
I can't say that.
We're talking Clinton. I lived in the sty, bro. We're talking Clinton Hills. They got their ass whipped. Them people in Clinton Hills got their ass whipped. It was not 100% safe.
All right, so I'm gonna take it slightly differently. I grew up in the late 70s, 80s. Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I am.
Look good though.
Yeah, of course. So in these times, well, in the 70s, in the mid 70s to the early 70s, there was what we call a mass exodus of white people to what we would consider now the outskirts of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Williamsburg, Clinton Hill, Myrtle Avenue, Sheepshead Bay, all of those parts. So because it wasn't safe, what they felt, it wasn't safe.
Fam, it wasn't safe, period.
Living in Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights.
Yeah.
The only persons that
Clinton
stuck
Hill
around,
wasn't safe either, though.
Clinton Hill became safe when they separated, when there was a partition between Clinton Hill and Fort Greene. Okay, once DeKalb Avenue, what is that other Gates and Green was still a problem. Yeah, but anything DeKalb and back towards Myrtle Avenue, and then to Park Avenue, so on and so forth. Though that was the safe haven. So mind you,
but there's no wall to protecting them for Bed-Stuy. You get what I'm saying?
Right. But at that time, and this is me knowing because I hung out in Bed-Stuy.
Understood.
So where we hung out was Fulton Avenue.
Of course.
Bedford Avenue.
Right. But Fulton and Bedford cross.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But that's where we hung out at.
Right.
Where the quote unquote individuals that were not known to let you pass.
Right.
So this is where I'm walking is the safe haven.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Right.
So this happened to me in a safe haven. But the point that I was making about bringing this up was there is a misconception about black people. And there is one of the misconceptions that happened to be fatal was that black people are up to no good, whether they're wearing hoodies, because the term hoodie or the term hoodlum comes from individuals wearing hoodies in the hood. It was a slang term. Okay? So now that is hoodie, to wear a hoodie or a shirt with a hood was what young people were doing in the hood that may not have been the popular thing to do in the hood while wearing hoodies. So now that's where it becomes associated with by being a hoodlum. So now moving forward, now everybody has this understanding, or what we would consider white people have this understanding of, well, when you see somebody wearing a hoodie, you better move. Ignorance, that's what it is. It's ignorance, because the assumption that somebody is wearing a hood, now taking it to the Trayvon thing, the assumption that somebody is wearing a hood is up to no good is not good. Because the person that shot Trayvon Martin
when somebody black
is as ignorant as they come.
He probably would have shot him if he had a hoodie on or not.
He would have shot him if he was wearing a T-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the thing I like is just balance, right?
Right.
And ignorance is not the problem.
I think ignorance is the root of it, but
ignorance is
attributed to
it's just an opposite
education.
of not being educated, right? Ignorance is not always a bad thing. Not always a bad thing.
Agreed.
There are, like anything else, there are people to the far left and there are people to the far right. Most people
we call them Democrats and Republicans.
I don't even want to bring that dumb shit into but most people are somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So you'll have your Trump supporters or you'll have your Black Panthers. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, and most people are in the middle and they are very heavily impressionable. That's what ignorance is. It's not so much that you want to not like black people, but I feel like there's a lot of white people, that in the 80s and 90s and 2000s that were ignorant but weren't overtly racist.